Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, this week we are tackling a real head-scratcher from the world of finance. One that's, well, it just doesn't seem to make any sense on the surface.
So get this, the economy is showing some pretty serious signs of cracking, right? We're getting all this bad news, but what does the stock market do? It has one of its best weeks ever and hits record highs. So why? What is going on here?
All right, to really get what's happening, you have to understand the market's #1 obsession right now. And it's one thing, interest rates. Seriously, everything, and I mean everything, is being seen through that single lens.
So the whole thing really kicked off with the August jobs report. And wow, was it a dud? The U.S. economy added just 22,000 new jobs. I mean, that is way weaker than anyone expected. It's a huge, flashing sign that the economy is cooling off fast. Normally, that's the kind of news that sends investors running for the hills.
But what did the market do? Did it panic? Nope. Stocks actually went up. And right there, that was our first major clue that we're in this weird topsy-turvy world where bad news is somehow good news. And believe me, the bad news was just getting warmed up.
Okay, then came the real bombshell. A massive data revision came out, and it basically said, you know all those jobs we thought were created over the last year? Well, scratch that. Nearly 1 million of them, 911,000 to be exact, were just revised away. Poof, they never even existed.
So the economy was way weaker than we thought for a whole year. The market's reaction? You guessed it, another record high. I mean, the logic is just, it's something else, isn't it?
And the hits just kept on coming. Later in the week, we saw the number of people filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time suddenly jump to a 4-year high. It's just another crack appearing in the economic foundation.
Okay, so what on earth is going on? How does all this bad news lead to record highs? Well, it all comes down to this one really powerful idea. Bad news equals rate cuts. See, investors are making a huge bet that all this weakness, the terrible jobs report, the vanished jobs, the rising unemployment, it's all going to force the Federal Reserve to step in and cut interest rates to juice the economy.
And let me tell you, they are not messing around with this bet. Right now, the market is pricing in a 100% chance of a rate cut at the Fed's very next meeting. It's not even a question of if anymore for investors, it's just how much.
But here's the thing. This whole bad news is good news obsession with the Fed, it was only half the story this week. There was another, totally separate engine firing on all cylinders, just roaring ahead and pretty much ignoring all that gloomy economic data.
$114 billion. This number just sent absolute shockwaves through the tech world. It's what Oracle is now projecting for its revenue by 2029, and it's all being driven by what one analyst called absolutely staggering demand for AI infrastructure, including a huge new deal with OpenAI.
And this wasn't just an Oracle story. I mean, their stock shot up almost 36%, which is insane. But it created this huge ripple effect, like a tidal wave, lifting the entire AI supply chain. We're talking about the companies that make the custom chips, the servers, the memory, you name it. It's just a powerful reminder that while half the market is watching the Fed, the AI train is on its own track, full steam ahead.
So you've got these two massive forces pushing stocks to all-time highs, the hope for rate cuts and this crazy AI euphoria. And that has sparked a huge debate on Wall Street. Is this rally for real, or are we looking at a dangerous bubble that's about to pop?
You've got veteran strategist Ed Yardeni, and he's basically sounding the alarm. He's warning that the very thing the market is begging for, a Fed rate cut, could actually be the thing that triggers a melt-up. And a melt-up, well, that's when the market shoots up purely on hype, not on real value. And what happens after a melt-up? Usually a pretty painful crash.
And it's not just him. Even the former CEO of Goldman Sachs, Lloyd Blankfein, came out and said something pretty chilling. He said the market feels too good right now, and it's reminding him of 2007. Yeah, just before the massive financial crisis. When a guy who used to run Wall Street says that, it kind of makes you sit up and pay attention.
So what you have here is this incredible clash of narratives. It's a tale of two outlooks. You've got the bears, the pessimists, who are looking at the weakening economy, the risk of a melt-up, and saying, this euphoria is a huge warning sign. But then you have the bulls, the optimists, who are just focused on that AI-driven productivity boom, the promise of Fed rate cuts, and strong corporate profits.
But for now, despite all those serious warnings, there's no question who's winning. The bulls are in complete control. we're seeing huge players like Deutsche Bank actually raising their forecasts, now calling for the S&P 500 to hit 7,000. They're betting this party has a long way to go.
Okay, so what a week. It was just wild. After all that back and forth, all the noise and contradictions, what's the one big thing you should take away from this? You know, this really sums up the whole week perfectly. You can see how the weak jobless numbers and those falling producer prices, that's prices for businesses, added fuel to the fire for the rally. But then you have consumer prices, which came in a little hotter than expected. And that just reminds everyone that inflation is still sticky, which, makes the Fed's job a whole lot trickier.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The market is caught in this epic tug of war. On one side of the rope, you have the cold, hard facts of a slowing economy. But pulling just as hard on the other side is this incredibly powerful hope for the future. Hope in an AI revolution and hope for cheaper money from the Fed.
So the big question we're left with is this. Can hope keep winning? Can this incredible optimism, fueled by AI and the promise of lower rates, continue to overpower the growing fears of a real economic slowdown? For now, the hope side is definitely winning the tug of war. But the billion-dollar question is, for how long? And that's the story we'll all be watching.